welcome to tutorial number 2, hair preparation. You'll find all the items that you require for this process within your personal cap kit and in the hair care kit. So we will find a towel, water bottle, a brush, a headband, a mirror and conditioner. So to prepare the hair before we put the cap on, we're going to need to wet it first. So you may ask, why do we need to wet the hair? So the purpose of this is first of all for conductivity. So by wetting the hair and with the cold cap, it ensures that our scalp is at the correct temperature. Also, it's to reduce any volume in your hair. Everybody does naturally have air in your hair, but also if you have much more voluminous hair, it's a barrier for the cap to fit the scalp, to connect to the scalp. So this is the process and the reason why we do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my water spray. This will obviously be empty, so you will need to fill this up. So we say tepid or lukewarm water is best. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to spray over all of my hair. Now the amount of this is different dependent on the person and your hair type. So mainly, if you've already got quite thin hair, you don't need to spray as much. Whereas if you have quite voluminous hair, like mine, or whereas if it's very, very thick, you're going to need to use more water. So it doesn't matter how many sprays, it is dependent on your hair type. So what you're going to do is just spray the hair like so. Again, push it back as well. One of the things that you might want to do beforehand is use the towel. Okay, again, this will protect any water from going onto your clothes like it was doing with me then. So, spray like so. Now it doesn't need to be absolutely drenched. So for example, like if you've just stepped out of the shower, dripping, it doesn't need to be that wet. And the reason we say that is because of one of the reasons why we wet the hair, conductivity. If it's too wet, you're going to feel the cold too much. So it's not necessary. So just slightly dampening, that's the key words that we use. Another tip for you as well is if you are somebody with longer hair, you don't need to do this longer part because this is actually not going inside the cap. It's going to stay out, so it's not necessary to wet that. It's just the part that's going underneath the cap. And this with mine is now adequate. Once you've done that, we're going to need to push the hair back. Now you can either use your hands, like I am, like so, or you can use the detangling brush that we've provided you with, the Tangle Teaser. So again, you can just brush this back. Again, this is dependent on your hair type. Now I'm only using it very slightly because I've got naturally curly hair. So if you've got really, really curly hair, it's not going to be very beneficial to use that, and you might just want to use your hands like so. Okay, so pushing it all the way off your forehead, and again, this is really, really important if you've got bangs. So then what I'm going to do is use a very small amount of conditioner. Again, you've got this in your pack, and when I say small amount, I just mean like a quarter size or even a dime size, like so, okay? If you use too much, then it's going to make it less manageable once you've removed that cap. So again, why are we using the conditioner? This is to help remove the cap after use. So because we've got water on our hair and we've got a sub-zero coolant running through the cap, that's an invitation for the hair to potentially stick to the cap. And we don't want that to happen, and we want you to be able to remove that cap quite easily after you've finished your treatment. So this is the purpose and the reason that we have the conditioner. So once you've got that piece, smooth it over your hands like so. and then you're just going to smooth it over your hair, okay? Again, making sure you go all the way around and to the back as well. You don't need to work it in or anything like that. It is just smoothing over like so. Okay, again, if you wanted to use the brush at this point, you could. So now we've got our hair is wet and we've put the conditioner on. You will also find that you have this fabric elasticated headband. Now the purpose and the reason for this is to protect our forehead. So we mentioned in the cap fitting that the cap shouldn't be positioned down here, it's just a couple of millimetres below, but it still means that you've got that cold cap touching your skin, and that's where it can be quite uncomfortable. So we want to make it as comfortable as possible for you. So this is the purpose of the headband. So by having it positioned just on the forehead here, you're protecting the skin and making it as comfortable as possible. So, how do we put the headband on? First of all, I'm going to place it over my head. Now you're going to position it underneath your ears, not over the top, because we don't want it going into any of the hairline. What that's going to do then is block the contact of the cap. So we place it underneath the ears and then just let it sit below the hairline, like so. And if I just move round, you can see it's below the hairline at the back as well. Okay? Now we do appreciate and understand that the headband is not suitable for everybody. One of the tips that you might want to do is actually fold it up in half, like so. That may make it fit better. For anybody that's still having difficulty with the actual headband, if I can refer you to tutorial number 4 for hints and tips, we have some other ideas of what you can use in place of the headband. Okay, so we've slightly dampened our hair, we've used a small amount of conditioner, our headband is in place, our hair is brushed back, and our hair is prepared. So we're then ready to fit the cap. Thank you.